Hurricane Ian has begun lashing Florida's Gulf Coast with powerful winds and drenching rain, prompting U.S. authorities to tell residents it is too late to leave as the eye of the storm inches toward shore with close to Category 5 power. By 11 a.m. local time, Ian was about 80 kilometers southwest of Punta Gorda, Florida, with sustained winds of 250 kilometers per hour, the U.S. National Hurricane Center said. Hurricane Ian makes landfall in Florida. That was just shy of a Category 5 designation, which is the most severe storm classification, although Ian was expected to weaken after hitting land, the center said. Forecasters say Ian would unleash wind-driven high surf, torrential rains that may cause coastal flooding of up to 3.7 meters along with intense thunderstorms and possible tornadoes. Earlier this week, authorities told more than 2.5 million residents to leave. The storm's outer bands were already bringing heavy winds and rains to much of the Gulf Coast on Wednesday morning. Follow live updates on Hurricane Ian in the live blog below. Jump to top key events 15 hours ago. A 7 News cameraman has dropped his camera during live broadcast to help person stranded in rising waters. 15 hours ago, Hurricane Ian has officially made landfall, according to the National Hurricane Center. Plus show more reporting. Live 13 hours ago, Gus Bruno. An extreme wind warning is in effect for parts of southwest Florida. The National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated extreme winds associated with the eye wall of Hurricane Ian. The winds were moving onshore over Charlotte County Airport, or near Punta Gorda, Florida. The National Weather Service, NWS, also said there are extreme wind warnings in effect for Cape Coral, Lehigh Acres, and Fort Myers. The news said this is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation and urged people to move inside and treat these imminent extreme winds as if a tornado was approaching. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook. Copy the link. 13 hours ago, Gus Bruno. A curfew is in effect Wednesday night for Charlotte County, Florida. It will run from 9 p.m. through 6 a.m. for the entire county, including the city of Punta Gorda, according to Charlotte County Sheriff Bill Prummel and Punta Gorda Police Department Chief Pam Davis. The curfew will be in place until further notice, officials said in a Facebook post. Violation of the curfew is a misdemeanor. The curfew applies to all citizens, with exceptions of emergency personnel and those commuting to and from work. Loading Facebook embed. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook. Copy the link. 13 hours ago, Gus Bruno. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said people should not immediately venture outside after Hurricane Ian passes, warning that data from past hurricanes show a higher number of post-storm fatalities. In Hurricane Irma, there were 7 fatalities directly because of the storm, and there were 77 that were a result of post-storm, he said at a Wednesday evening news briefing. A lot of fatalities stem from downed power lines, standing water and the misuse of generators. Please, make sure that you're taking the proper precautions, the governor said. DeSantis also addressed the rescue response and said first responders will wait until things calm down before they venture out. In the meantime, people who live in high-risk areas that have called authorities for help are being mocked, the governor said. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook. Copy the link. 13 hours ago, Gus Bruno. Some 1.5 million customers are now without power in Florida, according to Power Outage. That number has been steadily ticking upward throughout the day as Hurricane Ian battered communities and plunged more and more people into darkness. Florida Power and Light Company, the utility which services areas hardest hit by Ian, continues to report the most outages with nearly 1 million as of Wednesday evening. Alicia Victoria Lozano, share to Twitter, share to Facebook. Copy the link. 14 hours ago, Gus Bruno. Hurricane Ian is battering the Florida peninsula with catastrophic storm surge, winds and flooding after making landfall just south of Punta Gorda, according to the National Hurricane Center. The maximum sustained winds have decreased slightly to 140 meters per hour, 225 kilometers per hour, as the center traverses land. But Ian remains a Category 4 hurricane. Ian is expected to remain a hurricane through the day and into tomorrow as the center of the storm moves northeast over the Florida peninsula, passing close to Orlando and Daytona Beach, before moving back into the Atlantic Ocean on Thursday afternoon. Further weakening is expected for the next day or so, but Ian could be near hurricane strength when it moves over the Florida East Coast tomorrow, and when it approaches the northeastern Florida, Georgia and South Carolina coasts late Friday, the Hurricane Center said. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, copy the link. 15 hours ago, Gus Bruno. Hurricane Ian is now tied with Hurricane Charley in 2004 as the strongest storm to ever make landfall on the west coast of the Florida Peninsula, according to CNN meteorologist Brandon Miller. Both of those storms hit the coast with 150 meters per hour, 240 kilometers per hour, winds. Ian dropped slightly at landfall. The storm surge has also set records for the highest water levels ever observed in several locations, according to Miller. Water levels are still rising in Fort Myers, but it is already higher than previous high water marks, with data going back to 1965. Naples water levels were already more than 2 feet higher than ever observed at 1 p.m., but the gauge stopped reporting data, so it is unclear how high it reached, Miller said. From CNN's Brandon Miller. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, copy the link. 15 hours ago, Gus Bruno. More than 1 million customers are without power in Florida, according to Power Outage. The site reports that Lee County, home to Fort Myers and Cape Coral, is still the most affected with more than 330,000 power outages, which represents more than 70% of the utility customers. Collier County, which includes Naples and Marco Island, has more than 151,000 customers out of power. In Sarasota County, which includes the cities of Sarasota and Siesta Key, there are more than 182,000 customers in the dark, according to the site. From CNN's Virginia Langmaid. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, copy the link. 15 hours ago, Gus Bruno. People are trapped by water in their homes, Florida's Collier County Sheriff's Office says. Here's some tough news you need to know, Florida's Collier County Sheriff's Office said in a Facebook post. We aren't holding back, we are in call triage mode. We are getting a significant number of calls of people trapped by water in their homes. Some are reporting life-threatening medical emergencies in deep water. We will get to them first. Some are reporting water coming into their house but not life-threatening. They will have to wait. Possibly until the water recedes, the statement said. According to the statement, Lee County's 911 system is down and calls are being rerouted to Collier County Sheriff. Loading. Facebook embed. Share to Twitter, share to